Up next on Inspiring Beauty and
Like,
Believers.
we need to focus more on the men. And I'm not saying that, women aren't important. We are important. We're extremely important. But a lot of times what happens is so much focus on women being independent and doing all the stuff and being healed and stuff, and men get slighted and forgot about. But if men are not taken care of, if they're not healed, if they're not whole, then it does not trickle down to the rest of the household. If men
So first thing, like, I'm a Christian man, definitively. But inside that objective right there, if you, I offer forgiveness for you 100. It is what it is. But if you come in my house at 2 a.m., I also got a hot one for you.
Absolutely.
So I don't, exactly, like I'm not, I can be a Christian man. I definitely forgive you. All because I forgive you for making bad choices doesn't mean I'm just going to allow you to continually make them, especially when they may affect myself and my family. Number one.
Absolutely correct.
Number two, I think it's something powerful in what RJ just said, in the contrast to it, where you were looking at the good kings to sit there and be like, Solomon and King David, the things that they did that were great, and also the things they did that weren't so great, but also to look at the kings like Saul that were thrown into a scenario of, we want them, he's head and shoulders above everybody. We want him. Yeah, okay, cool beans. He's over there. He's going up. God says, hey, just anoint them. They ain't worried. They're not against you. They're against me. Don't worry about it. They go ahead and they put him up. He's like, okay, I prophesy over you. You're going to go up. You're going to meet these people going up to the mountain. You're going to prophesy. Then a certain period of time is going to pass and you're going to find yourself on the mountain. You're going to have all the children of Israel out in front of you. When that day comes, wait. Okay, cool beans. He goes up, prophesies, all that, blah, blah. Certain period of time comes. He ends up, finds himself Philistine. I think it was the Philistines that were up against him, because it was always coming against him. Philistines. So like I said, you go ahead, you have it. Got children of Israel all out in front of him. He said, when I come to this time period, the man of God, wait 7 days, he's going to show up. Cool beans. Day 1, day 2, day 3. No man of God. I'm out here. Children of Israel start murmuring. Day 4, 5, 6. No man of God. Children of Israel murmuring. Morning of day 7. All right. Go ahead. Give me the fatted calf. Give me this. Give me that. All this. We're going to set this fire. I'm go ahead. Hey, kill the fatted calf. Went ahead and raised it up to God. Gave him the smoke. Everything else. Children of Israel stop complaining. Man of God comes walking up. What's this? Well, I mean, the children of Israel, they went ahead and they were murmuring and everything, so I had to keep them quiet. And, I had to go ahead and kill the fatted calf. You didn't show up for like 7 days. You said you'd be here in 7 days. I don't know what's good, bro. I'm paraphrasing, but these are the things that were going on. So he's like, so now do you know what you did? Well, I mean, I'm the king. Thought it was okay for me to go ahead and kill the fatted calf and offer it up to God and everything else. I didn't tell you to do that. I told you to wait 7 days, then I would show up and then everything would be cool and I'll tell you what to do. Now that you did this, they're going to come against you. They're going to scatter the people of Israel. It's going to be your fault. Dang, well, that's messed up. What do we learn from this? As a king, you can't do anything that you want to do. Even if you think it's the right thing, that doesn't necessarily mean it's what you should do. Follow the good counseling that you're getting. Look at the scenario. Don't make decisions based out of emotion, because children of Israel were murmuring, this, that, and the third was going on. So I went ahead and just decided to do this. You didn't do it because it was supposed to be done. You did it because of out of the emotion that you were feeling and out of the fear and out of the anxiety you were feeling. You felt like this would calm everybody else down, so you would be getting less heat. So as I was stating, I think that it's a beautiful thing to go ahead and get that knowledge, looking at those kings that we look at and say, these are the kings that were wise. These are the kings that were doing the great things. These are the kings that were doing man after God's own heart type things. But then also to look at those other individuals that weren't necessarily doing man after your God's own heart type things in a position of kingship because he was raised up, but weren't really exemplifying what needed to get exemplified as a king. I.e., you're a king and you got your 10,000, you got your thousands, David running up, not even a king yet, and he already got his 10,000s. So while they were over there fighting and killing 10,000s, because guaranteed people were slaughtering people back then, how come you got thousands? David ain't even king yet. He ain't even in every battle yet. He already got his 10,000. What's good? Where you at? Why? Where is this contrast and why is it there? So just those things, looking at different perspectives, different contrasts that are available to you to gain that wisdom and do those things like RJ just said. God said, literally, I will ask for wisdom. I'll literally give it to you freely, liberally, not a question. You know, you're the father to the fatherless. What does that say? Well, ask him to be your father, and he will guide you in all the things you need to get guided in. You might not necessarily like it when he tells you to go ahead and do exactly what RJ just said, which I've been doing for a long, long time, which is literally just go into relationships and be like, if I'm not even supposed to be in this relationship with this person, violently rip us apart. So there's no question. If I'm not supposed to be in this relationship with these individuals, friendship, otherwise, violently pull this apart. So there's no question at all what happened and who did it. Because if it's a little bit easy and it's like, well, you know, maybe it was God, maybe it wasn't. When it's World War III up in that mug, napalm's been dropped, all that, well, dang, okay, this is supposed to be scattered and done with. Okay, I'm good. I'm not messing with that anymore. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. But it takes you, when you ask those questions, like RJ just said, you got to be ready. You got to be mature and ready for what's getting ready to happen in that scenario, because it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. It's normally going to take you down a path where you're going to see some things that you might not want to see or didn't know you were going to see, or feel some things you didn't know you were going to feel, or whatever it may be. But that level of maturity that you have that can guide you down that path definitely is going to grow from even going down the path in the first place. So that was a lot, I know, but.
Nah, it's all good. I'm going to say these things real quick, right? One thing that I realized with Courtney, and it was very valuable, looking at Courtney, somehow my brother has somehow blurred out everything around him, and it's only focused on him. And why I got it, I was like, God, dog, I said, man, Courtney on another level of focus. Because even when his kids and somebody was talking, he took the earpiece out, like, what? He's like, put the earpiece back in, I'm focused. Like, the rest of it don't matter around me as a king. He's like, my kingship lets you know I'm blurring out everything around me, staying focused on the mission at hand. So I love that. I looked at that. I was like, dang, that's a whole message right there. Next thing was, if there's two things. I'll use the first one. David of the tens of thousands, Saul of the thousand, right? As kings, people got to look at that message and be like, yo, as another king is doing good, cheer your man on. You shouldn't be jealous of that dude. If my dude is good on the left, I got love for you. Real kings are not intimidated about another king's success. You still got your kingdom. You still a king of your thing. If you running, cleaning up toilets and doing everything, that's your kingdom. Reign and rule over that as the best. Ain't nobody else gonna scrub this toilet like I am. So respect what I do. You know what I'm saying? And that's the last thing I was gonna say too, that if people really respected other people, they would not even need to be forgiveness. If you don't steal from me, there's nothing I need to forgive you for. If you never came across me or got jealous, there's nothing I need to forgive you for. If you're not trying to sleep with my wife and I'm not around, there's nothing I need to forgive you for. Like, this is just common sense things. Like, forgiveness is not needed when there's a form and a high level of respect for that person. When you lose respect for that person, that's when you disrespect that relationship you have. So that was it, man. I'm gonna leave y'all on the fight finna start, but I just wanted to say things real quick. You know what I'm saying?
That was good.
You know what I'm saying?
Shawnee, we didn't touch not a nail, not a no questions. However, you know good and well we are all down for part 3. So,
hey, we're gonna speak it right now. Because you know, we had the COVID stuff, so I've been doing my math. So we down for part 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
What is
the way I see it, though,
this ain't even a sprint.
This conversation went the way it was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that it was ordained that we touch these topics and that we have an organic flow of communication that just taps into the different perspectives of these brilliant minds that you brought together to be able to highlight and illustrate these different points and aspects of this particular topic. Like, I didn't know we was gonna go into kingdom, but look at where we are. But look, no. But it's. I'm telling you, it happened for a reason. It happened for a very important reason. And I look forward to you telling us, yo, the 3 minute and 55 mark, the 1 hour and 57 mark. These people just kept hitting me up saying, "Oh my God, that was so life changing." Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's going to happen because it's the God in us using us to express what's going to be usable for other people. You know what I'm saying? One thing, my boy Big Aura, he said, he talked about like if people, you know what I'm saying, if they're close to you, you know, it's going to hurt. It's different. It's hard to be emotionless during that time. And I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm a writer, so I love words. I have a weird affinity for words, but which also just transparently, it make me real. Like, I always have to reel in my criticism because I know it's just social media, but I'm like, you can't be writing like this for the world to see. Like, you had to be able to see that just don't make no sense ever in life. And so, but people say stuff like, man, it'd be the cuts that's closest to you that hurt the most. Yeah, that makes regular sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why you baffled by this. Or they be like, you never get betrayed by an enemy. It's always a close friend. An enemy can't betray you. Like, that's what betrayal means. It means you let them in and they violated the agreement. Like, it's not betrayal if it's the enemy. Like, I just don't understand sometimes.
Yeah, it's consistent, appropriate action if they're your enemy.
Absolutely correct. You know what I'm saying? But I use this illustration to explain to people. When you have a rib cage for a reason. Your rib cage protects your internal organs. Yep. So for external people, there's a barrier in place that prevents them from being able to harm the things that help your body facilitate accordingly. Mm-hmm. Because those items, those organs are super sensitive. If you let someone in, they don't have to hit you hard. A small poke on those super sensitive organs will shut you down. Mm. I had a pancreatitis one time, and just the fact that my pancreas was swollen, when other organs touched it, it hurt. They didn't poke them. Just the rubbing against felt like I was being stabbed because it was sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Well, it was inflamed, so it was more sensitive. But the point is, when you let someone into your heart, they don't have to violate hard in order to hurt that heart. So that's why it's so imperative that we are sure of who we give access to that space, because that repair, that healing process is much harder from the inside than it is from the outside. And they don't have to cut you nearly as sharp or as throw it at me. On.
I don't have one.
I keep it that. Throw it. Don't have one, but that healing process is so much harder. It's heavier. That road to recovery is harder because you let someone into the space that was supposed to be safe. You let them into the space you let them in under the auspice that they would treat your sensitive spots the same way that you do. Mm. And when they don't, not only so you have the mental aspect of the betrayal, but you have the actual heartache of they poked me. They poked my sensitive spot and I trusted them not to. That's when, so it's like, it's imperative. We talked about it last time, the constituents, the confidants, and the comrades. Like, it's imperative that you know who is who. And the God that we love, the God who saw fit to father us and handcraft us from the soil and blow the breath of life into our lungs, who made us in his image and likeness, is not one to withhold secrets from stuff that's supposed to be vital to our purpose. So he will tell you if you're willing to ask the question. And like my brother Shannon said, look, Shannon is a military man, so his verbiage is very military oriented. Violently ripped. You know what I'm saying? Brother, like, I'm a military man too, but I'm sensitive. I'm like, Lord, just show me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta be violent. Just make it plain. Just talk. I listen real good. Just say, nah, not him. I'll be like, okay, bet, not him. But if it's Shannon, do it violently. Like, look, I want to see Samson knock him down, collapse the ceiling on him, Lord. Pick up the donkey jawbone. Get him, Jesus! Like,
I love it.
Get him, Jesus!
Leave no room
for
misinterpretation.
Leave no doubt, man.
But I said all that to say, like, I just wanted to bring that back around from King was saying, like, those are the ones who have the actual opportunity to violate you. It's really hard to be violated by somebody who you've never given the space to violate you. Mm-hmm. If they violate you, likely it's a misunderstanding or just an overstep of boundaries, but it's not really a violation. Usually you violate it by someone who you've given access and they've taken that access and abused it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so, again, just to reiterate what we said last time and how we close it out this time, be wise. Ask God, ask the God of wisdom who freely gives to all without withholding anything.
Yeah. Ask
the God of wisdom to show you who's around you. And more importantly, who's supposed to be around you. Because there's people that are supposed to be around you, but what role do they play? Exactly. Are they here for life? Or are they here for a season? Are they supposed to be on the outer circle? Or are y'all the ones that, y'all come together for something specific, but they're not part of your everyday life? So that lets you know, okay, I can expose a certain amount of myself to this person, but they don't get to know my innermost secrets. They don't get to know that person's not supposed to know my struggles. Though they are a good person to be in my life, they're not the person that's supposed to know my heart.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Your heart is only supposed to get exposed to a select few, because those select few whom God tells you are there are going to be trustworthy. And then, God forbid, should they have an off day and be human and somehow haphazardly violate that trust, if God told you they're supposed to be there, now forgive but keep instead of forgive and expel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you don't know, you're just kicking everybody out.
Yeah.
Nope, one shot. That's it. No, violently ripped. What'd you say?
Yo, no, it's just this one thing, man. But I'm not saying nothing. I was passing this over to Shani just to reiterate what was already said. She came in so super excited, like, bro, I gotta tell you about this. I was like, what's going on? But I'm gonna pass it to her because I don't want to take from her thunder. But she's the host and she does a great job. But I'll let her share the vision of what she see and stuff like that.
Yeah, come with it.
It's not a coincidence. I told her an hour, and she's like, bro, well, you got to get off because we're going to be going longer than an hour today.
I did.
I said, I'll find a way.
He did. He hit me up like yesterday or day before yesterday. He was like, sis, I can only do 1 hour. So, and I was like, okay, cool. And then this morning I called him. I was like, I can't do 1 hour. I can't.
I don't even know how to facilitate that.
If you have to go, I respect your boundaries.
She did. She's like, I respect your boundaries. But
there's so much more that needs to be said. So I'm a hold all of y'all to that 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever rounds of
like LeBron James. Not one championship, not 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? We keep it. But before you go, Shadi, I just want to say
they're gonna keep going, man.
I'm not gonna go because I gotta say what he's talking about.
I just want to say thank you to King real quick. So I just want people to understand, like, this is kingdom type stuff. This is King's talking. This is a roundtable type stuff. Even though, like I said, like King was like, I see what you're saying, B. Like, I'm open-minded to what every single person says, because through wisdom, that means that I don't know everything. You see what I'm saying? So my view, even off of what you said, like the boundaries, and we was talking about as far as saying rip, I don't know about ripping violently once again, but to speak to God and see where these relationships actually work and where they supposed to go. It makes me think that, but you gotta be in a king mindset, knowing that, guess what? My kingdom ain't perfect, and I can learn from that brother, that king, to make mine a little bit better. And I just hope that something that I say can help them grow. There's enough out here for all of us to eat and grow. There's enough territory out here for all of us to eat and grow. We come together and we can make this thing happen. So I thank all of you right now for, just the platform of us talking, but I'm learning and growing as I'm on here as well. You know what I mean? So I just appreciate that. And thank you, Shani, once again. I'm good. Okay.
All right, Shani, come with that excitement. What are we excited about? What's up?
Okay, so let me just share this quote. Okay, so this is one of my favorite quotes. It's by Frederick Douglass, and it says, "It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." And everybody who knows, like, y'all know my platform is primarily focused on healing and helping people overcome those parental abandonment issues, because if you don't go back and heal those things that happened to you in your childhood, then you can never have healthy relationships when you get older. So, but as I've been, and I said this to you guys a little earlier, the more that I've been doing this, I try to focus around in June, focus on men and helping men, but I just have this like tug inside of me that, like, we need to focus more on the men. And I'm not saying that, women aren't important. We are important. We're extremely important. But a lot of times what happens is so much focus on women being independent and doing all the stuff and being healed and stuff, and men get slighted and forgot about. But if men are not taken care of, if they're not healed, if they're not whole, then it does not trickle down to the rest of the household. If men are not whole, then it's lopsided and ends up having women be the matriarch. And we know, like me and Jay, and I'm sure most of you guys know, if you come from, you got the praying grandma that makes sure everybody go to church, and she is pretty much the spiritual head of the family, and everybody goes to her, everybody goes to mom and stuff, and dads are there just bringing in the ends meet, but that's all they really do. And that's not the way that God has ordained it to be. And because we have such a mixed understanding of what it's supposed to be like in society, we deem men as less important than they really are. And that's why households are broken. So we have to make and for me, I feel like my platform is kind of shifting in a little bit, but I think it's shifting in the way that it's supposed to go. We have to heal that parental abandonment issue, but we have to start with helping our men to heal and helping them to find a place of transparency, of vulnerability, a place where they can be able to open up and talk to their brothers, talk to their women, talk to their families, know that they can love, they can show love and they can show compassion, and they're not going to be called weak or soft or anything, but they can also be that man that shows. And I have so many questions that I have for you guys, but I'm gonna get to those next time. Hopefully, I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna get to them because we never know, but being able to be the men that they're called to be without being told that you're nothing, that you're not good enough. And as women, for us to be able to have a place where we can come and listen to what you guys have to say, and not, be on the defensive about well, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. No, listen, seek to understand their hearts so that you can be more receptive to, okay, well, I don't know the struggles that they go through as men. And that's why I brought all of these guys together, because so many times women are like, I just don't understand what's wrong with him, and he needs to get his life together, and he got to do this, and he's not being who he's supposed to be. But if he never had anybody show him, and because the world has told him that he has to be strong and he has to be hard, he can't even open up and tell anybody about the struggles that he's having, because he assumes everybody else is just doing what they're supposed to be doing, and there's nobody to talk to about this, which leads back to what Courtney was saying on the last video, that if men don't talk about this stuff, then next thing you know, you'll find out that they committed suicide and you didn't even know anything was wrong with them, because they're not having these conversations. So I'm really happy that I'm able to allow you guys to come together and have these conversations. And I'm not mad that it went a totally different way. I think defining kingship and what all it entails is extremely important, especially for this generation, because so many people are walking around saying they're kings, like Dee said, but they don't even know what that means. They need to understand that, and they need to be able to hear it from real men, real kings that are actually going out and actively doing these things and showing how to lead their households, how to lead their children, and so many things. So I'm thankful for all of you guys. If you have any closing comments, you can go ahead and do those now. I don't want y'all food to be cold or y'all family to be like, y'all been on here for forever. So
I just want to say, man, truly from the bottom of my heart, I know men don't translate things in love. So I'm going to say I respect y'all and I appreciate y'all. Real talk, from king to king, so I appreciate that.
Likewise. Absolutely.
Same
here, brother.
All day, every day.
Well, I'm a female, so I love all y'all.
We love you too.
But I respect y'all too. I respect all of y'all. So thank you guys for joining us today for another series. We'll be back again. Comment down below any questions that you may have. We'll eventually get to these questions. But I love you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Subscribe so you don't miss next week's video.